It looked like some fantasy painting from the 70s.
Nice.
That's amazing. So, yeah, I know when you said that, like, chainsaw, like Chris using a chainsaw.
Yeah.
Chris using a chainsaw. Chris, have you ever used a chainsaw in your entire life?
Yeah, but I don't like the tone.
See? You're condescending, Scott.
When have you used a chainsaw, Chris? I'm curious. On
Yeah,
this
no
one.
kidding.
What else? I cut
Lies.
a log with.
Yeah, lies.
You're just like,
all lies.
you're just like,
What did I
so,
use with a chainsaw?
so Apple. Yes, Apple.
What? Oh, Apple? That's really the transition?
No.
When did you use it on an apple tree?
No, I didn't use an apple tree. I used a chainsaw. You're making me like doubt myself now.
Okay, wait. Does somebody have a chainsaw and you're like, hey, can I try that out? And then you just started it and it's like, and you're like just holding it and it's just a couple times. Oh, here you go.
That's good.
I used it.
My God, you paint me out as like this mentally challenged guy who just like, let me play with the chainsaw.
Dude, no, it's okay. I mean, there's some listeners
okay.
there's some listeners from New York that would have never touched a chainsaw. You know what I mean? It just depends where you live and stuff. But you lived in Michigan. We have tons of trees. You should have used a chainsaw by now.
I should have used. I'd have to eventually, I suppose. I mean, I keep one in my car for Christ's sake.
You keep a chainsaw in your car.
Yeah, people in LA, they're just like, "Why you keep a chainsaw in your car?" You're just like,
It's the fancy one. It plugs right into the cigarette lighter.
I'm from Michigan.
"It's got a lithium-ion battery in it, and everything. It's fucking awesome."
Lasts 5 minutes.
I get 2 full rotations on the chain before it quits.
Weem, go. Wow. Oh, boo. Before we move on, I want to thank everyone in the chat room. We got some people in the chat room, but we started way early tonight. Everyone's used to us literally starting between 10:30 and 10:50 now.
Shock and awe.
Yeah, so we have Nick from the Resistance and that radio show hanging out with us tonight, and we have Billy all the way from California listening to us. So
Billy.
What up, guys? Thanks for hanging out with us. Shit. I mean, we have no booze news. We don't.
Other than we're drinking it.
Yeah, others.
We've got important news coming up, Scott. We don't have time for boot. No, I'm just kidding.
You're right. We don't have time for
Hey,
booze
has
news.
anybody in the chat room used a chainsaw?
I don't know. Is that
I think everybody's used a chainsaw.
that's a?
I've never used one.
Except
You've
for your
never used
city
one, Rick?
slicker ass,
Really?
Chris.
I've never used one.
Really?
Yeah, I've never had
See?
a reason to.
Even Chris sounded shocked.
I've never had a reason to.
Oh, come on, Rick. If anybody out of all of us had to use a chainsaw, it'd be you.
Why the fuck? Why? Because I killed a couple people and I had to hide the. Wait, never mind.
Maybe.
Hey,
Maybe.
whoa,
Never mind.
whoa, whoa.
Never mind. Disregard previous said statement.
Those crickets will shut up if they know what's good for them.
Yeah. Show them how to use a chainsaw.
Well, while we're waiting on the chat room to answer if they've used a chainsaw before, we should probably get into some tech.
Yes, go.
Lots of it.
Technology!
Hooray.
Time measure.
We had, I guess the big thing in tech this week is Apple had their Worldwide Developer Conference all the way, Moscone? Is that it? How do you say it?
It's always Moscone.
Moscone Center in where?
San Francisco.
San Francisco. I always forget where that fucking building is.
In downtown Waterford.
Yes. And this is typically where they announce, and this is more for the developers and the developer community. This is where they show off the new operating systems, software mostly, and then sometimes some hardware, but it's usually some upgrades and stuff. But this year, they showed off quite a few things. I was honestly surprised.
Yeah, this was a good keynote. They went total cunt slappy on this one. They just started pulling products out of nowhere. It was a good show.
Yeah, they had They had the new Mac operating system. I guess they're straying away from all the lions and tigers and bears and whatever name they're going to call it. And they
Servals and shit.
It was funny when they were going to say sea lion, though. I thought that was kind of funny.
Oh, that was
the
awesome.
original joke was it was going to be sea lion.
And it could have worked. They had the box cover art and everything.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty funny.
But no, this one's called Mavericks, OS X Mavericks.
Next one's Goose. They go right back to animals.
It's Goose.
Then the next one after the Iceman.
then Great Balls of Fire.
OS 10 rubber dog shit out of Hong Kong.
That's way too big for the box art. They got a small text. Small text.
Rubber.
So, Chris, you're like I said, our resident Mac guy. What is the huge upgrades, or maybe some minor upgrades with this new operating system called OS 10 Mavericks?
It's really not. It's not really that outstanding. I mean, to be honest, like the last couple OS 10 updates they've been the $20 ones, so everybody thinks that they're getting like a major deal out of it. But it's a couple updates that really aren't. They're not really too amazing, to be honest. I mean, you get like a overall visual bump on things. Like what was it? Scott Forstall got kicked out of Apple, so you'll see like all that cutesy like felt design and the linen backgrounds and stuff are going to be going away, and now Johnny Ive's making everything look flat and stylish looking. So I don't know, it's mostly, it seems like it's just going to be mostly cosmetic.
Yeah, well, I mean, with OS 10 Mavericks, I mean, there's several things that they did change. I mean, the navigation was kind of the big focus in this new upgrade. So, I mean,
Oh yeah. Tab browsing, I think, is going to be a big one. But I've been using what was it, Total Finder or something like that. So I've been using tab browsing for a little bit, and it really does make a difference. It's a lot of fun. And I really can't get it compared to like the bump that they made in iOS 7. Like, I mean, there's just not enough stuff really in OS 10 Mavericks to really get me too excited about it, to be honest.
I mean, one thing I thought was kind of cool was I don't know what the hell happened between Snow Leopard and Lion, but the multiple displays they've improved in this one. Mm-hmm. I ran Lion for a little bit on my computer, and god damn, that had the hardest time with multiple displays. But this one seems to have gone back to Snow Leopard stability, and they're supporting multiple displays and Apple TV sharing as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can call your dock and your toolbar from whatever display you're on instead of just being locked to the one that you can't find it and stuff.
That'll be nifty.
Says the man in the distance.
I know. I don't know what the hell's going on.
I like that. I'm trying.
Like Martha Dumbtruck from Heathers.
I'd like that.
I like it. We also have iOS notifications come to OS 10, which is very similar to what you get on your iPhone, but now it's kind of translating over to the desktop side of things. Mm-hmm. So that's one of the other features. And then what is it? The iCloud keychain. What can you explain? Can you shed? I don't know if I completely understand this, Chris.
What was it? What was the iCloud keychain? What was that? It's just the keychain is just password management, and you can it just gives you advanced controls over password management, like what you store your credit cards on them. Users can sign in over multiple devices and remembering passwords, all that sort of stuff. I don't know. If you use keychain in the past, it'll be pretty happy for you. If you're somebody who likes to, like, what was it? Also suggests passwords for you on certain things and remembers them across all of your devices, which I don't see how anything could possibly go wrong with something like that.
The best password is "give me all your money." No one ever would guess that one.
Yeah, and it can store credit cards. I don't know if you mentioned that, but yeah, I mean, it's nothing different than what Android does now. I mean, it's not. I mean, as long as it's handled correctly and it's all encrypted, then it shouldn't be an issue. The last thing in Mavericks, as far as kind of noteworthy, is Apple is taking on Google Docs with iWork for iCloud. The Pages, Numbers, and Keynote apps will be available in the browser either for iOS or the desktop. So they're kind of taking on Google there.
Yeah, well, Microsoft is also doing the same deal with their cloud services for Office. I mean, it's just a way that they can lock people into making purchases like that instead of having the illegitimate Microsoft disks flying around and stuff. And Google has the power to push these things forward without fear of failure. So why not up the stakes a little bit?
My big question is, when are they going to ditch the OS 10 and go to OS 11? Because they've been in 10 for about 10 years now.
Sure. That's what I was expecting, to be honest. I thought they were just going to bump it forward to OS 10, but I guess that like unleashes Beelzebub or something horrible is going to happen with the Earth's climate when they do that.
Maybe they just don't want to do the aesthetics of adding the extra numeral after the X. Maybe they just like sticking with the OS X for convenience.
Some domains that are sat on the OS 10 or OS 11. That and Pepsi.com.
Crystal Pepsi. I got that.
I don't know. OS 10 has already got a giant tidal wave on the cover. I mean, for the end of the world when OS 11 comes out finally. OS 10 seems destructive enough already.
I guess that they're going to like California locations now, because Mavericks is a very popular but very dangerous surf spot in California, correct?
Yeah, I don't know what else they're gonna do. Like OS 10, like Compton, or...
San Andreas.
It'd be your fault if you bought it.
I know, like OS 10 East LA.
That was
OS 10 Fresno. It's like
no one goes to Fresno. The Valley.
Yeah.
Beverly. And then moving on, we had kind of more cosmetic updates with the new operating system for the iPhone, iOS 7. We talked about this last week, and we had a pretty good idea of what Johnny Ive's idea was going to be and how he's going to execute it, and it was going to be very, how would you say it, like very flat and bright?
Is it flat and bright and
flat and bright, simpler.
Well, like I said, they got rid of the guy at Apple who was making everything look all like cutesy, and I forget the word for it. Well, they said like getting rid of the green felt or whatever in Game Center and all that garbage. Just making it look more like it's a high-end design thing. Actually, you know what? To be honest, it looks like they're shifting a lot of the design to make it look more Android-esque for a lot of the stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. If you ask me, that's just how it comes. I mean, like they're very light weights on the fonts and stuff. But there's a bunch of stuff in the new iOS that just looks really real cool.
Yeah. I mean, as of maybe 2 years ago, it seems like Apple's playing catch up with Android. And I'm not saying that as a knock on anything. And yes, I'm an Android fanboy. But I think this is the direction they needed to take the operating system, because it was just getting old and stale. I mean, God, it's been the same since the first iPhone was released in 2007. I mean, really nothing's changed.
They're ripping off the good parts. Whatever they're adding to it, I mean, they're ripping off, but it's good stuff.
Yeah, I think this was a very needed update. I think the operating system looks, I mean, honestly gorgeous. I think it's just simple. But Johnny Ives, I know everyone hails him as the big designer, everything. You fucking flat out stole all this shit from Android, but it looks really good, so I'll give him that. It was executed well. It
was a good theft all around.
It was a good theft all the way around.
Which was a good heist.
There is the control center is real big now. It's you got at the unlock screen, you can slide up to unlock, and then once you're in the operating system, you can slide down at the bottom, and it'll bring up a control center. Is that right?
Yeah, it's got like a bunch of really nice things in there. Like it squeezed. What was it, like your application? They put the flashlight in it, which I thought was great. I mean, Everybody's got like a flashlight app, but it's also got controls for AirDrop, so you can like wirelessly exchange files between phones without having to do that bump thing that some phones do. AirPlay, so you can play stuff on your TV, and a host of other little things like screen lock. It's just all accessible from the same menu.
Now, is that? Do you need a special TV to be able to stream audio or video to your television?
You need a device, I imagine, like Apple TV to play something like that.
Okay. Yeah, AirPlay. That makes sense.
Yeah, because I have it, so I'm looking forward to being able to try it on there. Because right now you can do it. It just doesn't. It doesn't work quite as well. I'm hoping that it's a little better.
It's kind of iffy.
Yeah, it has its moments.
Yeah, you're just like, oh, cool, it's on and there goes the signal.
Like, the iPad works just fine. I've never had any problems when we use our iPad, but sometimes when I use the TV, it's kind of like, I don't like you, so hopefully this will improve it.
Yeah. Hey, Rick, can you call back to us? Because your connection sounds really shitty right now.
Being the fact that you have Chris on there, you'll have to call me.
Okay.
You put it in your court.
All right, Aaron, do it.
All right.
While he's doing that...
Make it show.
There's multitasking, that's probably, I think, the single biggest update to the whole operating system, in my opinion. Because correct me if I'm wrong, Chris. I mean, like I said, I don't own an iPhone. I've played with. I mean, I